Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I think I'm a little ashy, so let me moisturize. Okay, yep, no fruit pomo. Anyway, yeah, this is the second video. I mean, we out here, we trying to elevate the mind. You feel me? We're trying to connect from like a... So I had something planned. I don't necessarily know if I want to go with that anymore. You know, spirit moved me into like a different direction. So I think we're gonna talk about, you know, and this is a really common topic. It's the art of being alone. The art of being alone, the art of being lonely, all the same thing, not necessarily, and we'll talk about that, right? So what is being alone? Is it like not having a romantic partner? Is it like not having any friends? Is it just being simply alone? Like that definition of alone or lonely is like varying amongst different people, you know? It depends on your mind state, depends on where you are emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever. And I think I just kind of wanted to like share a story of how I've like grew to be alone and in comfort. Like really like being alone, or I found peace, solitude, and like ease with being alone. So let's just get right to the damn music. This story is hailing from 2020, right? So this is the beginning of being alone and comfort. You know, like I was still in school with a really good friend of mine, and just even prior to this, you know, I was all up under her energy. I mean, some of the pictures from 2020 that you saw in my intro, and more than likely, so this is like the beginning of the video where I just kind of probably review my footage and review my old photography, you know, and stuff like that.
Who knows? I'm a little vain.
Yeah, the photographer, she and I, you know, damn music, were like this for a really long time. Not really long time, but like from 2020 to a year. Saw my intro. It was my fault. I will totally say like review my footage, art of being alone, or you know, art of being like lonely, or X, Y, and Z. Yeah. At that point, like 2020 Shelton, she didn't really understand, you know, alone time like this, or I guess a really long time, not really long time, but like things of that nature. So a year, I feel. I just remember it was my fault. I will totally say, like in this there was like a little being alone, you diggity, art of being like lonely, X, Y, and Z. Talked about it. Now at that, it took us a while to talk about it though. So like she communication is really big in this story as well. So like this, you know, at first it was like it started off really long texting war, so sending paragraphs, and then so something literally I just remember it was like, do not do this. Like in our friendship, there was like conversations through text will always and generally always be read wrong, misconstrued. Tone is at that different point because you can't hear their voice. She X, Y, and I, right? So, you know, I kind of like text her and I was like, okay, we're not going to text, like, and then, you know, when is your next something literally changed class or whatever, like, and do not do this, met up. Conversations spoke about text, so always there's no point to get to the details. Always that be read wrong. So there we are. We're just going to talk about kind of my experience, and everything I learned about this conversation, and kind of my own reactions, right? My own subtle demons and boundaries that I was not necessarily ready to face. So she needed her alone time, right? Like she helped me in this time of need, and I don't know, maybe I just felt so connected and whatever to her. So I was really like up under her all the time, and it's not like she required that or I felt that I owed her that. I guess I felt like I owed her that. I don't know. When we have a good time, I want your energy all the time. We got to the point where, you know, like I said, tears were ran, conversations were had, people understood each other. Now, the difference is that I had to do some shadow work, right? I had to do some reflection. So if you remember at the beginning of the panini, we were told to lock down, stay in, X, Y, and Z, you know, you can't mingle. So, and it's not like she said, oh, like I don't want to hang out because of COVID, X, Y, and Z, but it was more along the lines of like her and her boyfriend, you know, partner, if you will, needed time to themselves for once. Like I would, kid you not, be over there every day, almost every day for that matter, every week. So it's like we get out of class, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? You wanna Chief Keef? And she, you know, she's like, yeah, why not? Or we just hang out, even doing like just our artistic creative stuff or just vibing out, right? And I guess it got to the point where she may have needed some alone time. And I think I faulted her for that. Like, not I think, I know. When I did my shadow work, when I had this like alone time, when I spoke to myself, like mind you, 2020, like March-ish, whatever, and I'm in my apartment by myself, my roommates moved back home. I think that was when I needed space, or I needed social interaction, I needed time, I needed just somebody who would, you know, talk or listen or X, Y, and Z. So pretty much, yeah, she just, I guess, kind of said she needed space, and I must have like got triggered by that and like said some stuff, and she said some things. And within that introspection, reflection period, I really had to ask myself, like, Shelton, why are you so upset that she wants alone time? Like that she needs time from you, like as if I wasn't with her, you know, all this time and throughout the week and months and whatever, right? So it was really hard for me. She didn't see this part, but like even I was like crying on my alone time at home. Like, wow, like I generally don't like being alone. Like I did not like being within my own space or comfort or whatever. In my own company, I didn't feel enough. I didn't feel satisfied with solitude for myself, right? I had to include somebody into the mix. And I just kind of wanted to like share that in a way that says, you know, when I ask myself, what is it that is making me so furiated that somebody verbally told me like they wanted to not hang out, and that triggered me, right? It's not that they didn't want to be my friend anymore, any less, they, you know, loved me any less or whatever. It was, people need that time. Whether it's your partner, whether it's your best friend, whether it's just a friend, whoever, coworker, whoever, whatever, the art of being alone like brings so much clarity, right? So as I'm like crying as if me and her just broke up, we didn't. It was just, she needed time just to like recuperate and just be alone in her space with her partner and her energy, and she didn't need someone infiltrating that all the time. Now, with that introspection and reflection of what I brought to the table, or even like how I interacted with that situation, like just being so butthurt and feeling so betrayed, like, oh, you don't want to hang out with me anymore, like what did I do, boo hoo hoo. I had to just really like take that in and just say like, Shelton, it's okay, like you can hang out with yourself, paint for yourself, you know, like do a little sip and paint, Chief Keef and paint. I mean, just be alone, watch a movie, like do whatever alone, like, and be okay with that. I was scared of my own destructive thoughts per se, or just this, as Hines said in the video, like, why was our mind so destructive? Like thinking, oh, if I did something like this or X, Y, and Z, then, you know, something bad would happen, right? And that wasn't always the case. So if I didn't hang out with my friend, then I would be just bored to death. And that's literally what I thought, like, oh, I didn't have any other friends, or I couldn't figure out something to do on my own. Even to this day, I mean, I kind of have a problem with like going out alone, whether it's like to a party, to a social event, eating at a restaurant alone. I have been pushing myself more for that, and I just try to take my mind off of the whole anxiety thing of like, oh, someone's looking at me, or someone thinks I'm weird for eating alone. I have no friends. Like, I think it all trickles down to like feeling lonely, betrayed, or discarded, right? And it shouldn't, for the most part, depending on circumstances, I guess. But it shouldn't feel that way. The art of being alone is basically the art of self-grounding and meditation and clarity and asking yourself, what are you running away from? I'm weird for eating alone. I have no friends. Like, I think it all trickles down by yourself. Why can't you find peace within your own home? And you don't have to go run out to go hang out with someone every time you get a off chance, off time, a break. Yeah, it's just so much that little part taught me, right? So some could argue it's maybe the panini. The pandemic is what I'm saying. If you guys don't like me saying panini, whatever. The pandemic. It's really just
away from. Why can't you?
Yeah, I guess it was the sit in silence by yourself. Forced me to stay inside, but it was also like my own willpower to go hang out with someone like an off chance. I didn't want to feel like that. I didn't want to feel discarded by someone simply telling me. So some could argue the panini, the pandemic,
and like some things like that. Like I would just overthink, right?
If you're a overthinker, you're anxious, whatever.
Can't you,
do that?
Sit in silence
someone
by
gives us an
yourself.
Excuse, stay inside.
They're
but
lying. I know
it was also like my own willpower to figure out why
did I want to be funny.
Myself. It's not. I didn't want to feel like that. I didn't want to feel discarded by someone simply telling me like, oh, they can't hang out.
If people do that, just kind of
and like some things like that. I would just overthink, right? If you're an overthinker, although I don't condone that, open communication,
sit in silence by yourself,
saying that you need space inside. But it was also like my friend did willpower to figure out why. But I had to ensure her. I didn't want to feel like that. I didn't want to feel discarded by someone simply telling me like, I'm not triggered by it because I understand that like I was so aggressive. Like I would just overthink, right? If you're overthinker, because I didn't like being by myself. I'm an extrovert.
Sit in silence by yourself.
Stay inside, but it was also like my own willpower to figure out. I do need social interaction myself, but I've grew now. I didn't want to feel like that. I didn't want to be home type of way about her. I don't like going over anyone else's house too much anymore. I love to be back home to be about it because I didn't like being by myself because I didn't think I would ever achieve this so early on in my life. I'm 22 now. I have grew and I've kind of always think I would achieve this. I do need quickly, like I said, but it was really that moment. Didn't want to feel that argument, that little rift in my friendship, type of way about conversation, and like some things like that about space and just love to be back home, to be in my own comfort, and it's really cool because I didn't think I would ever achieve this so early on in my life. Just the art of being alone. I've been saying that, and I didn't. It's really just a reflection period, when circumstances causes you to in that argument, that little rift type of way about you may have been broken up. Conversation, you may just get hurt things like that. You can't do something or be back just home generally you can't do something. You don't welcome when you don't want to be somewhere. There's a reason why you can't do something. That was my little rant somewhere for today. It's just the art of knowing that the universe is doing that for you. You need social and not to you. So but I've grew now. You do have to be in isolation, like with COVID, you have to isolate. Type of way about 14 days. Just so conversation. Take that as like self-reflection. Get hurt, heal your body, heal yourself to be on over. But also see how you're gonna revamp and how you're gonna come back. Like what things may have little rant. Like I know this is a lot to think about while you're trying to like versus doing it, or you do need social interaction. It's not even always. But I've grew my story. None of us were sick. It's just she needed her alone time because I was over all the time. Conversation. I don't know who goes through that. It's like self-reflection. 22 years old, still with this attachment back home to be my own. But also see how you're gonna revamp and how you're gonna. This old and I don't know how to give people a break. That was my little rant for today. Like I said, just the art of being alone versus doing it for you. Do need social interaction. But I've grew now. Now and be alone. I've learned so much with solitude. I've learned conversation so much about. I don't know who goes through that. Maybe it's just me. 22 back home. I've learned so much about but also see how you're gonna revamp and how you're gonna. And I don't know how to give people. That was my little rant for today. Like I said, I'm an overthinker. I'm anxious. I think the worst all the time. And one of my mantras for myself this year, this time around, is like forgiveness and kind of taking the path of least resistance. Just because the path of least resistance, now that's a little bit more of like an Abraham Hicks, if you guys know who that is. Abraham Hicks kind of terminology, and not overdoing it, not thinking too hard about it, which is why I'm just pushing these videos out probably too fast, or maybe my thoughts are disorganized, who knows. I am just getting on here, being raw, giving you guys what I have, what I want to talk about, things that I think may be interesting. And I know the lonely space of my mind and anyone's mind, or your own home, or X, Y, and Z. Mind you, I do live at the time in 2022 or 2020 by myself, so some people may not have that art of being alone if you still live with family or if you do have roommates. But so, that's a different type of thing. Then we talk about isolation in different ways, right? So I love confirming what spirit has already told you, kind of what you've already talked to yourself about, just kind of showing you that like you're not alone, or someone else is dealing with this, or someone else is feeling this type of energy, right? And I just want to talk about it. Just want to express it, that some people could have attachment issues. I have attachment issues. You dive deeper as to why. That's a different video. But I just want to talk about that part, the art of being alone, just because that triggered me to find peace in being alone. It took me 20 years to understand being alone and to be comfortable with being alone. And I just want to make sure everyone else is. So like the video, comment on the video. If you made it this far in the video, comment. Let's, I see YouTubers do this all the time, and we're gonna jump on that a little bit, just as a cognitive thing. Send, I don't know, your zodiac sign, or send one thing that you found new about this video or interesting. Maybe some words, key phrases, whatever. So zodiac sign or something interesting about this video that you thought about or heard, if you made it this far. So that's cool. Subscribe, turn on the post notifications, share this with some folk that you think would like my energy, and people that would love to hear this type of conversation. Mind you, I'm gonna be talking about topics like this, maybe even deeper. Like I said, I need to find my groove on the channel first, and see what comes up to me, and things that I think you guys should hear. So, I don't know. Thank you guys, and that's the art of being alone.